This is the code for my software development assignment 2. So starting off, we have the one-to-one aggregation between my football team class and my sponsor class, which is set up down here using by creating a object, a variable for the class of type sponsor called spawn, and up here we have a overloader constructor using the aggregation. So in the main, you can see when we create an object of the sponsor class, we can then add it to the football team. So the football team has a sponsor. In this case, Tottenham Hotspurs has a sponsor, AIA, and it can include the contract length as well. So you can check the details of each sponsor. From there, we also have the football team also has one-to-many aggregation, which is set up with the member class. So in this case, they're set up through using a vector of type members, and the vector is called members. So you can add members to the class, or to the vector in the class football team, which can be seen here. In the main, we have players, managers, and coaches, and each of these can be added to the vector. And both of these is seen here. There's the sponsor code, and then here's the adding members to this function here adds members to the vector for you. So it tells you when it checks if the team is full, and if it's not, it can add the member for you. And there's also a display members details function as well. So whenever you can call the details of each member from the vector. Member class also, I've added a virtual void display, although I could not actually implement it as the member class still creates objects or still works with objects in the vectors. So their class could not be made virtual, and unfortunately other classes could be made perfectly virtual, but if this function was to be added, it would be a pure virtual function and make the class completely abstract. The member class also has overloaded operators alongside the player class. So both classes have overloaded comparison operators and an overloaded outstream operator. So the code for these is fairly similar in both cases. Each one of the comparison operators it takes for the player class. The comparison operators checks the player's appearances to see which player has appeared more on the team for the team, and can compare them. And for the members class, it compares them based on their names. So it can return to whichever name comes first or last in the order. And then the outstream operators also, in a similar manner, will allow you to print out an object of each class without having to use the get functions for each of the variables of each of the objects. So for the player, it prints out the get name and get position, while for the member, it allows you to prints out the name, salary, and contract length, all just by using. But you are having to use each of those functions individually, so which can be seen here. You can print out just player one from the player class, an object of the player class, and here you have code to test the comparison operators. So in this case, if player one has had less appearances than player two, it'll tell you. If not, it won't print anything. And same here, just checking the other operators, same idea. There, for the vector in the football team of members, that vector can be sorted, and the code for it is here. So the vector is sorted in two ways. So it can be sorted either just generically, so it'll without any criteria given, which is seen in this function here. So each it takes each member of the thing and sorts it compared to the next. But then there's also a sort function based on criterion, which in this case orders them by salary specifically, which uses this little function up here, order by salary, which takes member A and member B and compares their salaries. And then the vector also has a find function. So if you, when as does what the name says, when a name is given through the function, it will search through the vector to find that member if they're in the vector. If not, it will return they can't be found. There's also a move member function for the vector as well. So should players need to be removed from the team, they can be as well. And finally, we can run the project and see the outputs from most of those things. So here we have it's adding the members at the very top, and then here's the comparison operators. So Carlson has less parents to Son, Son has more parents to Carlson, and that just prints here. This line here is showing that the overloaded O-stream operator has worked, and down here it shows the team sorted based just as they're without the criterion, and here's how they come out. So then it's sorted by their names in this case, and then in this case it sorts them by the salary. So change them around so that the Son is on top one, Postecoglou is on top of this one. And here's the find member function and the remove member function.